Hi everybody, this is Property with Leonard and welcome to another episode. Now on this channel we discuss property, finance and investments. Now please note that none of my videos constitutes as financial advice, but if you are looking for financial advice, please speak to an accredited and registered financial advisor. Now in today's episode, I'd like to talk about and share with you the delays to expect when building a home. Now while the home building process involves several important choices, one of the first decisions that you need to make is whether to shop for an existing home or decide on building a new one. Now I have covered the pros and cons of buying a house versus building a new one. And I would advise that you go watch that episode in conjunction with this one. And as per normal, I'll leave a link to that episode in the description below. Or as you know by now, you can just click on the banner on top and it should take you to that episode. How many of you remember the reality TV show called Extreme Makeover? There was such a hype around it at the time, and it has cultivated some misleading perceptions around how long it takes to build a home. Now you need to be aware that it will take more than just a few days or weeks that many reality shows like that one portray to build a home. In fact, most building projects take at least 6 months, depending of course on how ambitious the plans are and how many unexpected delays arise. And these delays are sometimes completely out of your control. Things like the weather conditions, natural disasters which often happen. And just think about the coronavirus pandemic. Everything came to a complete halt. I guess when it comes to building versus buying a house, specifically here in South Africa, everyone will have their own reasons for choosing the one over the other. But ultimately, it's about what's right for you. When you opt to build your home, there's a couple of things to be aware of. That amongst other things, a new home takes months to build and can involve a number of delays and complications. You might even need to factor in the possibility that you may need to rent a property to live in while your new home is being built, and delays are almost inevitable. There is a high possibility that the building process will take a toll on your psychological well-being, your mental state, since it can be a very stressful time. Your home is more than walls and floors and rooms and windows. It's your safe haven, your place to come to at the end of a long day. It's your sanctuary, your comfort zone, your playground in your workspace and your family fortress, and the list goes on. And the way you plan your home can have a profound effect on your state of mind and your mental health, as I mentioned. Bear in mind that the process can cause more displeasure and frustrations, but I hope that in this episode will help you prepare better. Now, building a home from start to finish normally takes at least 6 months, as I mentioned. The time frame normally includes the time that it takes to obtain a building permit, which is, on its own can range from a few weeks to a couple of months, and those of you who know would know. And the construction delays, which almost always happen in some way, shape or form. There are just too many variables to consider. Think about something as simple as the electrician. You have an electrician not pitching on the day that he needed to install the electrical wiring in the kitchen, and it needs to be done before the carpenter can start with his part of the project, his part of the job. Now these simple delays can easily cause a snowball effect, and before long there are long delays that will cost you precious time and money, and everything else, of course, that goes with it. So many things can go wrong. I came across a very interesting article about graphs and data from the South African Quantity Surveyors Association that I will share with you in this episode, so please make sure that you stay tuned for that. Now, it is evident that there is a high degree of commonality in construction delays, and not just here in South Africa. This is an international phenomenon, and I want to point that out as well. And a good strategy to try and minimize delays would be to put in place risk mitigation measures to address the most prevalent delays first. It is also good practice to allocate the risk of the predominant delays to the contracting party that is in the best position to mitigate the risk of occurrence. Now, many research studies have been conducted over the years, and you might be aware of some of them, to determine the causes and effects of construction delays. But regardless of the vast body of knowledge on construction delays, the failure of many projects to finish on time remains problematic, and this is globally. Now, to put things into perspective for you, and that's the aim of this video, I'm going to put up some graphs on the screen that will cover the three main areas of delays. Now, firstly, a summary of reasons for delay caused by contractors. Right on top, inadequate contractor experience, delays in subcontractors' work. What sometimes happens is that you appoint a contractor, not knowing that almost all of them, they appoint a subcontractor, and that's sometimes where problems arise. And then interference with other trades, productivity or work rate, slow mobilization, contractors' inadequate site inspection, contractors' financial difficulties. This is something that often happens. I've heard horrible stories of contractors missing in action. You've paid them the deposit, they pitch for work for a couple of days, and then you pay them more money, and then they vanish, they disappear. Material, equipment allocation problems, planning and scheduling problems, material management problems, reworks, accidents, site management and supervision. Now, labor is a real challenge, specifically here in South Africa, and they can cause serious delays. And just another thing when it comes to contractors, I always advocate that you make sure that you appoint a contractor that is firstly reputable, but also have reputable references. And then you follow them up, and sometimes they all check out. But just be careful. That's just another thing I want to emphasize and to bring to your attention. Sometimes you have a contractor, he's been in business for 20 years, and then you check his references. They all check out, and he's been praised for doing very, very good job. And no disrespect to the contractor. But what sometimes happens is, and just like I said, bear this in mind. He's been around for 20 years, but he's only been doing minor works for 20 years. But you have a huge project, so he's not maybe qualified enough to do that. Or although he has experience, 20 years experience in the industry, he has no experience from supervising, building a house from the foundation right up to the roof and handing over the keys to you. He doesn't have that experience, if you understand what I'm saying. So just be aware. And then a summary of reasons for delay caused by the client, which is you. Right on top, inappropriate overall organizational structure, unrealistic contract durations. You need to be reasonable. You can't expect a house to be built in 3 months, big double-story house, 200 square meters, top-class finishes. You want the key in 2 months. That's just unrealistic. And then lack of communication, slow decision making. And that slow decision making can be very, very frustrating for a contractor. If you have a client who can't make up their mind and they are delaying the whole process. Design team inadequate supervision, deficiencies in coordination, design quality or incomplete drawings. I don't even know what to say here. I assume that would have been the case if you allow the builder to start building without the plans being approved by a local authority. I mean, that's just a simple no-go. It is irresponsible. It's going to cost you money. Delay due to handing over of site. Slow information flow. I've covered that with the communication. Inadequate design team. These are basic things. This is applicable more so when you depart from the zoning scheme, your house that you are building, or you are going over the building line and you need special permission for those things, not just from the local authority, but also from the surrounding properties, the neighbors in the immediate vicinity. And then a summary of reasons for delay caused by external factors. Right on top, external factor related. Increase in material costs. This is another real world problem, because if there's delays, for instance, on the previous slide when I spoke about delays in the approval of the plans, so that can take months. I mentioned a few weeks to a couple of months, and obviously that will have a direct implication, or it might have, on the material costs. So who's going to bear that? It gets so complicated, so just make sure that you got all your ducks in a row. Then labor disputes and strikes, acts of God, inclement weather, government regulations, slow permits by government agencies, problems with neighbors, confined site, economic conditions, disputes and conflicts, unforeseen site conditions, price fluctuations, I've mentioned that one earlier, and then shortage of construction material. It's good for you to have an idea of what could possibly go wrong, and if you are planning on building a new home, or know of somebody that is about to, please make sure that you share this video with them. I'm sure there are many other possible delays, but this video should prepare you to an extent where you can go into this whole process with open eyes, knowing more or less what to expect and anticipate responses to problems that might arise. Thank you so much, everybody. I really and sincerely hope that this video was of value to you, and if it was, can I kindly ask you, if you haven't, to please subscribe to my channel, to like this video, and to share it. Now, those things are really good for the YouTube algorithms, and it doesn't cost you anything, and you know, that way YouTube will recommend this video more to people like you who they know would be able to benefit from its contents. I almost want to say people here in South Africa, but I'm so blessed. I really have some of you watching from all over the world, and if you are not from South Africa, please let me know in the comment section below. It's always nice to know where my audience is from, and if you are from South Africa, kunjani. Yeah, you also let me know in the comment section below. You can just say hi. South Africans, we just say hi. Oh yeah, just before I go, subscribing, two things. Firstly, it is absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a cent. And secondly, it is really easy. You can just click on that subscriber button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and please remember to hit the all notifications, and that way you would be notified and you won't miss out whenever I upload new videos. Thank you so much, everybody. I see you in the next episode. Stay blessed.